Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I have a really fun video today. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, honestly, and I'm just finally doing it. But I'm going to do the funnest classes to level, the most fun classes to level in WoW. In my opinion. This is my opinion. I just want to say that again, my opinion. Of what I consider to be a blast, pretty darn fun, and then boring-ish, you know, for me. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think, though, what you guys think is the most fun class to level. I'm going to be doing the class as a whole, so all specializations, all roles kind of taking into account. I don't want this video to be super long either. I just kind of want this to be a fun way for us to kind of like, I want to see where everybody's at, what everybody else considers to be super fun. I don't know, I'm looking forward to this a lot. So we're going to go into it. So obviously we've got the tiers here, a blast, pretty darn fun, boring-ish. This is obviously what I consider to be the most fun, and then this is what I consider to be the least amount of fun. And just to explain it too, if let's say if I put DK and Demon Hunter right here, if this DK is on the left side of this of a blast, I find DK more fun than Demon Hunter. So let's get into this. Let's start with the brand new one, Evoker. I've only leveled one to max level. I leveled all these classes to max level multiple times throughout the expansions and different accounts even, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I absolutely love this. Like so much. It's unreal. I love leveling. I'm an alcoholic for sure. And for those of you out there that are also alcoholics, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so let's start with the Evoker here. I think Evokers are pretty darn fun. I don't think they classify as a blast for me. There's some other special classes that just take the cake for me for sure. But Evoker's a blast, dude. Even like leveling a Preservation Evoker, a healer, you still do a crazy amount of damage. You got like a ton of survivability, great mobility. It's great for soloing content. Evoker itself, like Devastation Evoker, it's tons of damage, like absolutely crazy insane. I really enjoyed it leveling mine, and I'm just leveling the second one right now because it's been a blast. And you're freaking dragon, you know, you're freaking dragon, and you can soar around. Like, sure, we have dragon ready and all that jazz, but it's nice to be able to just like fly up into the air and then like go off into the distance, you know. I mean, just amazing. You have lust, great survivability. Like I said, you can heal yourself. I find that really fun. I really like it. I think it's a pretty darn fun class to level. If you haven't leveled one yet, you should. Let's go with Demon Hunter. Man, I think Demon Hunters are honestly a blast, dude. Vengeance Demon Hunter is probably one of my like most fun tanks to play ever of all time. They're just, I mean, okay, let me just start with this. Turning into a demon, like a big demon, is absolutely cracked. I mean, that's so cracked. It's out of its, I mean, it's so much fun. It's a blast to do. It just looks cool. You're a big badass demon, you know? Well, that's fun in itself, but just Vengeance Demon Hunter, you have a ton of survivability, a ton of damage mitigation and magical mitigation to you. So so if you like tanking and you want to level a tank, Vengeance Demon Hunter for sure. Have a Demon Hunter is so much fun. I love it. It's been one of my main alts now for the season for Mythic Plus and doing some raiding and stuff like that, and just solo content. I just really like my Havoc. I like the challenge that it presents a lot. But man, dude, I think Demon Hunter is one of the most fun classes you can level and you will ever level. They're insanely fun. I don't know. They're just a treat to play. If you haven't leveled one, do it. You're missing out. I promise you. Let's do Druid. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go Druid Blast. I'm going to put Druid above Demon Hunter. For me, I absolutely love Druid. I have been on and off a Druid main since the beginning of WoW. So my main classes I played is Warrior, Druid, probably Druid more than anything else, to be honest with you, and probably Shaman. I love Druids. All four specializations I think are fantastic. Rest of the Druids are super fun, great healers. If you want to check any kind of like group content and stuff like that, I love the shit out of them. Being able to transform into different forms, fantastic. Bear form, Guardian Druid, like as the tanking subclass, so much fun. You have great mobility on all specializations, great damage. You can be melee damage, you can be range damage, you can be a tank, you can be a healer. There's 4 to choose from. The abilities are amazing. They look gorgeous. I don't think I have a complaint really about Druid overall. I mean, besides some talent stuff, but like really, they are probably personally my most fun class level. Yeah, I think my most fun class level. Out of everything, love it. I think if they're a blast, do it if you haven't. Oh my god, it's so good, so good. Let's do Mage. I'm actually going to throw, this is hard for me actually. I've leveled Mage probably like 8 times to max level throughout expansions. I've mained them in multiple seasons. There was a season where I played Mage like almost all the time exclusively for like 2.5 years, 3 years. I really loved it. Leveling for me, so Mage for me is one of those classes where like in in-game content, man, I think they turn up. Like they're a blast. Like raiding with a Mage is so much fun. Like so much fun. And in Mythic Plus content, it's just a blast. Solo content I think is pretty fun. You have a lot of tools in your toolkit to kind of like make it easier for you to kite enemies. Survivability is not great, but you do great damage. You got great spell casting, super fun class. You have portals to multiple cities, but for me, I don't know. I think the survivability kind of plays into it a little bit. I think you start to get to Mage feels kind of slow as you're leveling. Not to say that it's not fun. It is super fun. There's a reason why I've like leveled like 8 of them and throughout WoW. To max level, and those are different characters too, by the way, so that's kind of insane. But they're a blast. They really are, but I think they just fall short for me. They're not as fun as Evokers. Definitely not as fun as Demon Hunter or Druid for me, but like I said, they're a blast. I think they really start to get amazing when you get to in-game content, like amazing. Okay, let's see here. Let's go Hunter next. Hunter. Man, Hunter's another one of those. Actually, I think Hunter's pretty darn fun. I think you really can't go wrong with a Hunter, especially if you're a beginner. You're looking to pick up a class right off the bat. One, your range, and you have a lot of mobility and toolkits that you can use to survive. Kind of move around. You can also like basically do damage while moving most of the time. Marksmanship, Beast Mastery for sure. Beast Mastery, I think, is like one of the easiest classes or specs to play in the game. But that can also mean it's more fun because you don't really have to think about it, right? Like you can just kind of go in there and have a blast with it and don't have to think too much about that. Survival, I think, is a super niche spec, but a blast. You also, you're taming beasts and animals. That's pretty damn cool. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're really fun. I've leveled, quite a few of them throughout the years. I've never mained one, to be honest with you. I just found other specializations a little bit more fun towards in-game content, but to level, I'd say they're pretty high up there. Let's go Paladin. Oh man, I actually love leveling Paladin. It's kind of crazy how much. I think I'm gonna put them above. I've leveled a lot of Paladins, maybe a dozen, bro. Like I don't even know. I'm gonna put the top. A lot of you guys might not agree with me, but I love Paladin. I love Protection Paladin. I mained them for Shadowlands Season 3 and 4. Absolutely love the shit out of it towards in-game content, but I've also leveled multiple throughout the years, like a dozen. They're a blast, okay? You have so many self-sustained things, so it makes it easier to do content. You're tanky as shit. You've got heals. Even leveling Holy, I think is still fun. You can do some pretty decent damage. Not great, but pretty decent. You can get through content, but it's also really fun doing dungeons and stuff with the Holy Paladin. I think it's a blast. Protection Paladin for sure. There's just so many stuff. Being able to group in full mobs and then just Divine Shield yourself if you're in shit button, and then just, do insane pulls for fun and then just Divine Shield and kill everything. It's kind of a blast. Same thing with, Ret and Holy, but like, I don't know. This is something special for me for Protection Paladin. Ret Paladin I think is super fun. I've loved Ret Paladin for a long time. Not as much as Protection Paladin, I think, or Holy, but I love Ret Paladin. It's very fun. I've mained it in a couple seasons. It's a blast. I think it's a really good spec to level. Very fun. Priest. I'm going to throw Priest in the tier. Maybe boring-ish. No, I think they're pretty fun, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna go Priest here. I think they fall behind Mage for me for sure. Personally, I've leveled Holy, leveled Discipline. I just leveled Discipline Priest actually from level 1 to 70 here recently. I'm gonna try to push them in some content for season 2 for WoW, or maybe later this season. Really liked it. I did Discipline for most of the solo content, did some dungeons and leveling. It was a blast. Holy is pretty fun. I think it's a little too easy for me personally. I prefer Discipline for sure, especially for the damage aspect and just how cool the abilities look. But Shadow's fun as shit. Shadow is a blast to play. I think it can be intricate and one of the hardest specs to play in the game, especially towards in-game content, but very fun to level. I love the aesthetic, the shadowy freaking, I don't even know, form, whatever. It's just so cool. Like really fun class to play and to level. I just don't think they're as fun as these other classes, I think there's just something about it, like with the hard casting, I think you get into some more fun abilities as like later on in your leveling, like 40, 50, 60 range that really start to like make Priest the amazing class that it is. Similar to Mage, like towards the in-game content, I think it really starts to like kind of dive into it more, which is pretty amazing, and I love that. But yeah, I think it falls down a little bit farther than these other classes for me personally to level, what I think is most fun. But yeah, it's still up there, still pretty good. Shaman. Man, I'm putting Shaman in pretty darn fun, man. I freaking love Shaman. Holy crap. It's so much fun. Enhancement. Okay, Enhancement's just a blast. I don't even care. It gets better towards the game concept, but it's a blast. If you don't agree with me, then I don't even know what to say to you. I love you, but You're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But no, Enhancement Shaman just a blast, man. Honestly, Enhancement Shaman's fun. Elemental Shaman I freaking love. One of my favorite casters of all time, guaranteed. Resto Shaman, oh my god. Restoration Shamans, it's probably one of the most satisfying healing specs I've ever played. I love it. I mained it for a few seasons. Back in Kata, I actually really enjoyed it. Did a lot of raiding back then. It was a blast. But no, I just like Resto Shaman a lot. I like all the specializations. They're super fun. Melee, ranged, healer. You can't be a tank, unfortunately, and I really love the tank. But it's just a darn fun class to level, man. You got survivability. You've got lust. You got you got self-heals. You got freaking... I mean, you pump freaking crazy damage. Elemental, I feel like, can be a little bit harder to level. I think there's some mobs that kind of get to be kind of a pain, especially if you don't know your rotation. There's a lot of intricate things in the talent system now for Shaman that makes it more difficult, but I find that really fun. But I can see why a lot of other people might not find it as fun. But I like it. I think it's pretty darn fun for me. Monk, man. Monk, we're going to put in a blast, dude. I think it falls below the Havoc Demon Hunter and... Druid for me, but it's a blast, dude. If you guys ever level a Windwalker Monk, because holy crap, if you haven't, you are missing out. Or Brewmaster, or Mistweave. They're all fun. But dude, just fist weaving, I mean, spinning around, doing backflips and shit, zooming across with a serpent kick. I mean, having a freaking tiger that fights alongside you the whole time. I mean, oh my gosh. And then Brewmaster, I mean, you're chucking freaking kegs at people. You're breathing fire. You've got wind spinning around you. Mistweaver, you're bubbling yourself. I mean, again, there's so many cool healing abilities. Fist weaving is a blast as shit. I love it. I think it's one of my top specialization or classes level, guaranteed. And I mean, they're one of the fastest levels, like fastest classes you can level to. Like, they're just insanely good with their mobility and everything, and group pulls. Let's do a spicy take. A lot of people might not agree with me. I'm going to put Warlock in boring-ish, and I'm going to explain why. Personally, I leveled the Warlock probably one of the least out of any other specialization. I think that's just because I find it less fun. I think I've leveled one to max level like four or five times throughout the years. I think Warlock is probably one of the most fun specs to play at endgame. I think they're phenomenal. I think they're really well designed. There's a reason why there's so many Warlocks out there and how much the population plays Warlock. But I don't think as a leveling experience for fun, I just don't think you really get into the grit, the nitty gritty of Warlock and why it's such a blast to play until later on in the game. That's for me personally. I actually love leveling Affliction over Demonology and Destruction. I liked it leveling Destruction too. Demonology, not so much for me. But leveling Affliction is just fun, dude. Just tagging all the enemies up with freaking curses. I mean, dotting them down, you know, pulling huge, insane groups, having and you have some really good survivability, right? You're super tanky. You've got great damage most of the time. Hellstones. You also have like a demon that will like protect you or do a bunch of damage to people. You know, have a tank, so it's easier to survive content, I think, for that. It's a really fun class. I just think it falls behind everything else for me. I really think it really gets amazing at in-game content. I don't know. Let me know if you agree or not. I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you guys are. So, Warrior, man. Warrior's up here. Warrior might even take the kit. Warrior's right next. Obviously, I said before, my three most played classes are Shaman, Warrior, Druid, all that jazz. But, dude, Shaman's super fun. But, man, there's just something special for me about, like, leveling a Warrior. It's just a blast. I love leveling Arms Warrior specifically. I don't know why. There's something about smashing people with big crits and blade storming around, turning into a big freaking stone monster kind of thing with Avatar. It's just super fun, dude. I freaking love it. Bleeds. Fury Warrior's insanely fun, dude. Just smashing buttons, killing everything, healing yourself at the same time. Holy shit. Prot Warrior. Prot Warrior's legit. Classic OG tank. Love it. So good. Super fun. Kind of the same thing for me for Prot Paladin. I just think Warriors are the more fun. I love the heroic leaps. I love the charge. You charging in your enemies. Oh my gosh. It's so sick. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I think it's up there for me. Probably second most fun classes to level for me. Oh man, DK, dude. DK. I'm going to put it somewhere here for me. Probably right there. A little bit ahead of Priest. I like DK a lot. I love Blood DK. I've actually I played a lot of it. Obviously, Shadowlands season, like later seasons, because they were nuts and they were super fun. But I've also been playing it this season. I started off Dragonflight with one. I leveled it. It was my first one to make. DK was my first one to get hit 70. It's really fun to level though. I think it's a blast. I think it's. Man, there's just the lack of mobility really plays into why I think it's farther down. I just like having more mobility. I think the class, again, is super fun. I think it gets better when you're in game, obviously. I think almost every class does, to be honest with you. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, just like mobility. You got decent survivability, especially as a Blood DK. But, you know, Unholy Frost, not as much. But you do a ton of damage, big pulls. You know, being unholy is really fun. Just I mean, you got abominations, you got freaking ghouls coming up and all that shit. It's just super fun. It's a blast. But I just don't think, I think mobility just plays a lot into it. I think the aesthetic, I think the fun talents you get towards the end of the game, I think it falls down farther than me. I think it's below Mage as well. I think I just really like mobility when I'm leveling. It's a big thing for me. And I think it's probably maybe why Warlock's so low for me too. Yeah, that's where I take this. I'm gonna take Rogue. It's pretty darn fun. Let's see. Do I put it above? I think these are above it for me. I think it's towards the bottom of pretty darn fun. I think they're a blast, dude. I mean, you're chucking kids down. You want to do any battlegrounds as you're leveling, like whatever, dude. You kill everything. It's pretty insane. You don't even have to be good at the class, and usually you kill everything. But Outlaw is really fun to level. I think I prefer it over the other. No, I prefer Assassination Rogue. I love Assassination Rogue over the other two specs for sure. But Outlaw's really fun. Assassination is really fun. Sub's really fun. Sub's fun as shit for PvP. I like Assassination for that too. Outlaw is more of a PvE type for me specifically. I do like leveling with it a lot. I've leveled quite a few rogues throughout the years to max. Never main one throughout a season. I've gone off and on with them, like probably main alt. I think again they get really good at in-game content, but leveling throughout them, I think the survivability isn't quite. I mean, survivability is good. Don't get me wrong, but like self-healing and stuff like that falls down a little bit. You've obviously got great mobility. Shadow Step is amazing. The abilities are really cool. You burst single targets, like if you have to kill a boss or anything like that, or a hard enemy or a rare elite as you're leveling, man, you chunk them down. AoE is a little bit different. I think Outlaws specifically pulls up a little bit in that, and Sub probably. Assassination falls behind, I think, in the AoE scenario. I just leveled Assassination Rogue all the way from 1 to 70 again recently for an alt thing. It was kind of fun. But yeah, no, I think they're super fun, pretty darn fun. Aesthetic of just being in stealth, popping out, sneaking past enemies you don't need to really kill, like that kind of thing. I think it just makes leveling more fun. You know, it's kind of a blast. All right, so this is my tier list for the most fun classes level. This is longer than I wanted it to be, so darn. But hopefully you guys liked the video. I really just wanted to have fun with this. I wanted to share my opinion with you guys, and hopefully you'll share yours back if you. You don't have to let me know if you agree with me or not necessarily, but you could like let me know what your favorite, like your most fun class is to level in WoW, because I know we've played this for a long time. It's a game we all love. So if you're looking to like level an alt that you haven't before, something like that, this is where I stand. These are my opinions on them. Or if you're not new to the game, you're not sure to start, man, I think any of these 4 classes to start off would just be super fun, and you'll find out what you don't like or like, and then, you know, as you move down. But this isn't to say that Warlock isn't fun. Warlock is insanely fun, as are these 3. They are all, every single class in this game is fun. There's a reason why I've leveled so many to max level. But I do think that there's some of it like a little bit higher up for me for my personal reasons and all that jazz, which I kind of explained. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate all the support on the channel. You guys are amazing. So I will catch you guys in the next video. We got some more guides coming out for add-ons, some tanking tips, some KSM tips, some high mythic plus, maybe some raiding, some guides and stuff like that. Maybe some other MMOs content we'll dive into as well. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, peace.